This budget is woven around three prominent themes. One, aspirational India, in which all sections of the society seek better standards of living with access to health, education, and better jobs. Two, economic development for all, indicated in the Prime Minister's exhortation of Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, Sabka Vishwas. This would entail reforms across swathes of the economy. Simultaneously, it would mean yielding more space for the private sector. Together, they would ensure higher productivity and greater efficiency. And three, ours shall be a caring society that is both humane and compassionate. Antyodaya is an article of faith. So, I repeat, this budget is woven around three prominent themes: aspirational India, economic development, and a caring society. The digital revolution, which has placed India in a unique leadership position globally, will see the next wave. We shall aim to achieve seamless delivery of services through digital governance, to improve physical quality of life through national infrastructure pipeline, risk mitigation through disaster resilience, social security through pension and insurance penetration. Each one of these initiatives and their components would be benchmarked to international standards, and the indices would be announced soon. Before I move to elaborate on each of these three themes, I wish to recite a small verse in Kashmiri. सोन वतन गुलजार शालीमार हूँ, सोन वतन गुलजार शालीमार हूँ, दल मंज फोलवून पंपोश हूँ, नवजवान अन हुंद वूशन खुमार हूँ, म्योन वतन च्योन वतन सोन वतन Nundboni Vatan. I'll read this in Hindi, not as a poem, but for the meaning. Hamara Vatan, खिलते हुए शालीमार बाग जैसे. हमारा वतन खिलते हुए शालीमार बाग जैसे. हमारा वतन डल लेक में खिलते हुए कमल जैसा. नवजवानों के गरम खून जैसा. नवजवानों के गरम खून जैसा. मेरा वतन, तेरा वतन, हमारा वतन, दुनिया का सबसे प्यारा वतन. It is everything that we do here, everything that we speak through the budget, and everything that this government everything that this government does with the guidance and leadership of the Prime Minister is for this Pyara Vatan. This poem, I must mention, is a poem written by Pandit Dinanath Kaul, who's a Sahitya Akademi awardee. Our government is committed to the goal of doubling farmers' incomes by 2022. We have provided energy sovereignty through Kusum and input sovereignty through Paramparagat Krishi Vikas Yojana. We have provided resilience for 6.11 crore farmers insured under Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana. Focus on cultivation of pulses expansion of micro-irrigation through Krishi Sinchai Yojana have raised the self-reliance of the country. Provision of any annual supplement of the income to the farmer directly is done through PM Kisan. Connectivity through PM GSY, Gram Sadak Yojana, financial inclusion have helped raise farm incomes. Prosperity to farmers can be ensured by making farming competitive. For this, farm markets need to be liberalized. Distortions in farm and livestock markets need to be removed. Purchase of farm produce, logistics, agri-services need copious investments. Substantial support and hand-holding of farm-based activities such as livestock, apiary, and fisheries need to be provided for. Farmers desire integrated solutions covering storage, financing, and processing and marketing. Adopting sustainable cropping patterns and bringing in more technology are integral to our plan. All this and more can be achieved through working with and in cooperation with the states. The following 16 action points indicate our focus. We propose to encourage those state governments who undertake implementation of following model laws already issued by the central government. My first of the action points, 16 action points, but the first one is to encourage those state governments who undertake implementation of following model laws which are already passed and issued by the central government. First, Model Agricultural Land Leasing Act of 2016. Model Agricultural Produce and Livestock Marketing Act of 2017. Model Agricultural Produce and Livestock Contract Farming and Services Promotion and Facilitation Act of 2018. So 3 model agriculture-related laws we would like state governments to consider favorably. Our government is proposing comprehensive measures for 100 water-stressed districts. Our government is proposing comprehensive measures for 100 water-stressed districts. Third of the 16, in the budget speech of July 2019, I had stated that Annadata can be Urja Data also. The PM Kusum scheme removed farmers' dependence on diesel and kerosene and linked pump sets to solar energy. Now I propose to expand the scheme to provide 20 lakh farmers for setting up standalone solar pumps. Further, we shall also help another 15 lakh farmers solarize their grid-connected pump sets. In addition, a scheme to enable farmers to set up solar power generation capacity on their fallow and barren lands and to sell it to grid would be operationalized. Speaker, sir, this is a major step forward in which we are saying that farmers, if they have fallow or barren lands, now will be helped to set up solar power generation units so that they can then sell that which is being generated, solar power, to the grid. And through the grid, having given the solar power from their barren land, they will be able to make a living out of their barren land also. Fourth of the 16, our government shall encourage balanced use of all kinds of fertilizers, including the traditional organic and other innovative fertilizers. This is a necessary step to change the prevailing incentive regime which encourages excessive use of chemical fertilizers. So this is an important point. I'd like to repeat it. This is a necessary step to change the prevailing incentive regime which encourages excessive use of chemical fertilizers. So the fifth point out of my 16 action points, India has an estimated capacity of 162 million metric tons of agri warehousing, cold storage, reefer van facilities, and so on. NABARD will undertake an exercise to map and geotag them. In addition, we propose creating warehousing in line with Warehouse Development and Regulatory Authority WDRA norms. Our government will provide viability gap funding for setting up such efficient warehouses in the block or taluk level. This can be achieved where states can facilitate with land and are on PPP mode. Food Corporation of India and Central Warehousing Corporation shall undertake such warehouse building on their own land too. Sixth action point. As a backward linkage, a village storage scheme is proposed to be run by SHGs. This will provide farmers a good holding capacity and reduce their logistics cost. Women SHGs can avail of Mudra or NABARD assistance and regain their position as Dhanya Lakshmi. We've heard of Dhana Lakshmi often, and many of us are familiar with Dhanya Lakshmi, and I'm sure many of us do recall the days when women in the villages were the ones who kept the seed for the entire village, and they would distribute seeds as and when a farmer required it. So we would like to restore women SHG groups to play that role or at the village level as Dhanya Lakshmis, being assisted by Mudra and being assisted by NABARD. To build a seamless national cold supply chain for perishables inclusive of milk, meat and fish, the Indian Railways will set up a Kisan Rail through PPP arrangements. There shall be a refrigerated coaches in express and freight trains as well, so that perishable goods can be quickly, easily within the country transported, and the benefit will accrue to the farmers. Krishi Udan will be launched by the Ministry of Civil Aviation, not just trains. Krishi Udan will be launched by the Ministry of Civil Aviation on international and national routes. This will immensely help improve value realization, especially in Northeast and in the tribal districts. Horticulture sector. So this is very important. Point number 9 of the 16th. Horticulture sector with its current produce. It's a very important point, sir. Horticulture sector with its current produce of 311 million metric ton exceeds the production of food grains. Horticulture exceeds the production of food grains. For better marketing and export, we propose supporting states which, adopting a cluster basis, will focus on one product, one district, so that a high focus is given at the district level for products in horticulture to really gain that momentum. 10th of the 16 action points. Integrated farming systems in rain-fed areas shall be expanded. Multi-tier cropping, beekeeping, solar pumps, solar energy production in non-cropping season will be added. Sir, I had mentioned in my July budget, zero budget natural farming. That shall also be included in our activities. The portal on Jaivik Kheti.
आप देख रहे हैं नेट्रिक न्यूज, साहस सच कहने का।